All right, I've decided to replace the switches with these little ubiquitous switches that you can find everywhere. Now, a couple other people on YouTube have rebuilt these things, and they got some switches off of AliExpress. They don't seem to be available anymore. I might have given one of those a try, but I think there's no longer any stock anywhere of those. At least I couldn't find them. But I did like the feel of these. They're nice and clicky. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off each key and attach it to these keys. Now, they're normally set up for like a little X on top of the push button thing. And I'm going to have to remove a little bit of webbing under the key. And then I'm going to glue the little key onto the plunger. Now, in order to get the height correct, I need to have the post of the switch at the right height. And right now, it's at a perfect height if the switch were sitting right level with the top of the switch. So I need to have another 3 millimeters so I can go 3 millimeters into the keycap. Now, fortunately, you can buy these switches with varying post lengths. There's a guy in the US actually who had stock, and he would sell you these keys with varying lengths every single millimeter. So like here's a really long one that I had, but he sells them at any length that you want, and so it's going to look something like this when it's done, right? And so I need an extra 3 millimeters, so I need a 10 millimeter total height of switch, and so that's what I've ordered. I'll be waiting for those in the mail. So I thought today I would go ahead and remove all of the keys and switches. So you notice that the switch here is at a 45-degree angle to match the hole spacing on the PC board, but looks like that won't be a problem anywhere in the board. So I think today I need to desolder some switches. Now, on one of the videos that I watched, I think it was Def Palm, he found that some of the switches are underneath this socket. So yeah, this socket's going to have to be semi-destroyed in order to get underneath it. It's kind of a really tall socket. I don't know if I'm going to... I might just replace that socket with a nice one too. I think he left his in place a little bit ugly. I might replace it. Anyway, I'll know when I get there. Looks like this little bodge over here. Interesting. Somebody had to add a little bodge wire to that switch. Interesting. Anyway, the board looks otherwise in okay condition. So, yeah, let me get cracking. All right, I see the problem with this with this socket. There was a little cap on it. I don't know why, but there was a little cap on it that just popped off. But there's still a you can't get to the can't get to where I need to go. I could either desolder the socket altogether. I'm going to try using a jeweler's saw and see if I can't remove that center section there, and give that a first try. I don't want to go too far and start cutting traces, so I thought I would try to score it and then maybe try to break it off. See what that does. That is not scored enough. I don't know about this. I think I'll just desolder that thing. Maybe we can crack it down. Yeah, there we go. Ah, there we go. So, I did the same method. It ain't pretty over here, but it gives me access to all of the places that I need to desolder, so it's probably less dangerous than trying to remove this and have all those connections a possibility to go bad. And the socket is still perfectly usable the way it is, so yep, I think I'll do it that way. I don't like the looks of one of those. So sometimes you need to add solder in order to get rid of solder. I've probably seen that before. And one of these does not look right. And I'm going to put more solder in there. And I'll take that out and see if that helps. Yep. Much better. This one, it's kind of stuck in there. There we go. All right. All of the switches are out. It's good that they put nice large holes in the layout, so it's easy to get those switches out of there. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is this switch had been reworked. Like I said, this one had that bodge wire on it and the pads pulled out. So this switch had been replaced at some point in time, and the guy did a bad job of it and pulled the trace off. And on the front side, you can see that there's a bunch of discoloring here, almost like somebody dumped Coke on it or coffee or something. So in this area right here, it's all gunked up. So probably something got spilled on it and it went bad, and somebody went in to try to replace that switch and kind of bodged it up. And there's also a little bit of residue here. So I think something got spilled on it is my guess. So I'm going to have to clean all these off with alcohol and get rid of all that gunk before I put the new switches on. And make sure that the traces are going to go where they need to go. Some of these might still be dodgy. Like this looks like there's a trace that goes to that pad, and that pad is missing, and that may be my problem. Is I will need to run a little wire over there before I put that switch in. But yeah, I'll take a real close look at all this.